Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Now, if I think Great Britain is the main sponsor of Ukraine, I think the main sponsors of Russia are India and China. And that's not because they rule um, Russia with power, like, and they command, like I think Great Britain commands Zelensky, but because China and India buy the fossil fuels that Russia is selling, and that keeps the Russian economy rolling. So this article comes from Bloomberg from July 6th, 2022, and this is the title. China and India funnel $24 billion to Putin in energy spree. Russia has pocketed $24 billion from selling energy to China and India in just 3 months following its invasion of Ukraine, showing how higher global prices are limiting efforts by the US and Europe to punish President Vladimir Putin. So these guys are buying his oil. They get a profit. They get cheap oil and natural gas. Russia makes a profit by selling it. Europe, on the other hand, doesn't buy it from Russia. It buys at the extra cost and has shortages. So who's the winner? Who's the loser? Or who are the winners? Who are the losers? And here it says in a little title, natural gas soars 700%, becoming driving force in the new Cold War. Yep. China spent $18.9 billion on Russian oil, gas, and coal in the 3 months to the end of May, almost double the amount a year earlier, latest customs data show. Meanwhile, India shelled out $5.1 billion in the same period, more than 5 times the value of a year ago. That's an extra $13 billion in revenue from both countries compared to the same month in 2021. So I guess Russia is isolated big time. Good job. The higher spending is helping make up for decreased purchases from the US and some other nations that have halted or slowed buying to punish Russia for the war. The bans have sent prices for alternative supplies soaring and spurred crippling inflation that threatens to send major economies into recession. And I'm quoting, China is already buying essentially everything that Russia can export via pipelines and Pacific ports, said someone from Center for Research on Energy and Clear Air, who has been tracking Russian energy flows since the war broke out. And I'm quoting again, India has been the main buyer of the cargoes out of the Atlantic that Europe doesn't want anymore. They want it, but the big boss doesn't approve of that. That spree is unlikely to end anytime soon, with energy prices much higher than they were at this time last year, even accounting for the steep discounts to global benchmarks Russia is offering the entice purchases. On a volume basis, China's imports continued a slow uptick in June, while India may have incentive to boost purchases even further in the coming months as a European Union ban on Russian oil takes effect. Good job. Good job. No more oil for you. China and India still trail Europe as a bloc in terms of overall sales this year, according to uh, Millivitra's research. Europe's purchases will continue to shrink so as import bans on coal and oil come into effect and as Russia cuts off gas supplies to some European buyers. Well, China is the world's biggest energy importer and has dedicated pipelines for Siberian oil and gas. Yeah. India's increase in spending after the war has been far more dramatic. India's increase in spending after the war probably began has been far more dramatic, as it doesn't share land border with Russia and its ports are normally too far away for cost-efficient shipping. The country spent $8.8 billion on petroleum and coal imports from February 24th to June 30th, more than it doled out for all Russian goods for the entire year in 2021, according to a Trade Ministry official. In addition to big jumps in oil and coal, India also imported 3 cargoes of Russian liquefied natural gas since the war began, compared to 1 in the same period last year, according to Bloomberg. Historically, India has taken very little Russian oil, but the war in Ukraine and Russian origin oil embargoes by the European Union have led to a rebalancing in oil trade flows. Wei Chong-ho, a Rystad energy analyst, said in a research note last month. So, a natural gas source 700% becoming driving force in the new Cold War, according to Bloomberg. Oh my. All right. Well, what can you do? Nobody forced you to, I mean, actually, Zimbabwe from across the Atlantic forced the Europeans to do all this, to shoot themselves in the foot. I feel sorry for the citizens and for their economies, because winter is coming and their supplies, their reserves are not even 50%, and they have to be 90 to go over winter to survive. It's going to be a hard time, and you don't have woods. Maybe you're going to cut some of your black forest logs in that in Bavaria, in South Germany or something. Nevertheless, I do not I do not exclude the possibility that, and I foresee it, I predicted that the Germans will crack first. They will be the first ones who say, you know, we had enough. We got to do something else, because we're going to go through a unbearable crisis, economic crisis, energy crisis, unemployment crisis, inflation crisis, stagflation crisis. All this is going to go like boom, not only on Germany, United States too. But the United States seems to be able to absorb this a little bit better, because it still has resources. Germany doesn't rely too much on external suppliers. Nevertheless, get ready, buy some heavy coats. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.